content in this video may trigger you if you're a pansy, a feminist, soy boy, a white knight. So if you require a safe space and you don't know the real definition of tolerance, I suggest that you turn off this video and go find Drag Queen Story Hour somewhere. You might enjoy that better.
GL, how you doing this Friday?
I'm good. I'm good.
You're good. Yeah, you're looking sharp, my friend. I see you got the nice F-boy haircut going.
Yeah, I got the F-boy. I totally got the F-boy haircut going on, man. Like it's like the full faux hawk. You see that all the way down back here?
It is, man. Let me make I like it. Let me make an official comment for those that are jealous.
You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian shit.
There you go. Look at you, man. Yeah, let me see. You got the neck tattoo speaking out.
Oh yeah, on both sides. On both sides.
Shit. One.
You know, I'm like Sir Fuckaboy a lot.
I know it.
Like if I was like Sir Lancelot, yeah, but just the fuckboy version. Well, Sir Lancelot was the fuckboy version, wasn't
he? Yeah, shit. This game goes on forever and ever, doesn't it?
You know, Brad. They got the White Knight from the White Knighting. Yeah, from Lancelot. Like I did not realize.
Shit, huh? Yep.
He was the White Knight out of King Arthur's Round Table. I did not realize that.
The original sneaky fucker sex.
Yeah, like he's the one that cheated with Guinevere.
Was it him cheating with Guinevere? Or
he cheated
with her.
Well, she basically gave him the poon behind Arthur's back.
Who's the chooser?
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah, he was an accomplice.
I would say maybe Lancelot was or no, you know what? Arthur was a ride or die bitch. Because he ended up
loyal.
He cucked.
Arthur was loyal. He was loyal to like all his people.
Yeah.
You know, too bad his woman wasn't loyal.
Speaking of loyalty, here's your number one fan there, GL.
Actually, she's your number one fan. Okay.
No.
Like she barely comments on my
stuff. It's gonna take both of us. Yeah, Star. How you doing?
She rarely she comments on my stuff every once in a while, but like she comments on your stuff. So therefore, like I'm just the addition. Like I'm just like the when she comments on my stuff, it's like charity.
Star's good people.
So you know what? You know who did hit me up though?
Who?
Paula. Or Paula.
Oh, good. Paula Wright.
Paula Wright, the comedian,
evolutionary psychologist from the British Isles.
Yeah, yep. Monday, I think we're chatting. I think that's the goal. Are we making fun of you?
Oh yes, dear. We're gonna talk some massive shit.
Never. He might, but I wouldn't.
You know,
I wouldn't to your face. I'll do it behind your back though. No, I'm kidding.
If anybody knows, I am the biggest tease in the world when it comes to the ladies. And I got no problem with that.
That's
true. It is true. Yeah. But it's fun. It's all good natured, you see, because I enjoy it. And I really enjoy those ride or die chicks. You know, ride or die, kind of ride or die women are interesting because, you know, Glenn, I've known a few. I might even have a few still in my life. And ride or die chicks or women are pretty damn interesting. You know, because they come in kind of two flavors, I'm thinking. And the flavors are, you get the ride or die chick that's all about you, and she is absolutely satisfied and fulfilled putting that role in. And then you kind of get the ones that are wannabe ride or die chicks that tend to have that borderline personality disorder, where they kind of love bomb it and play. They play that version of a ride or die chick, but they really aren't. And a lot of times you found out that the bear trap or the honey trap has been closed on you far too late. Now, they disguise themselves as ride or die chicks, Glenn. And GL, I think you might have known a ride or die chick or two in your time. And when you get them, you don't really want to get rid of them. It's that second version that kind of disguise themselves as a ride or die chick. We're not talking stalker here.
Oh, I got me a ride or die.
Yeah, ride or die is pretty good because here's one thing I noticed. I'm just going to go ahead and stream for us. Add to the stream just the definition so we know what we're talking about tonight, because we'll have a really fun conversation. Oh, well, thank you, Star. I don't seem to have too many troubles in that area, and I have I enjoy all those conversations, every last one of them. And today, so let's go ahead and add to the stream. I'm going to try looking here. Ride or die chick from the Urban Dictionary is a girl who is down for her man in any situation. When this kind of biblical, wouldn't you say? Shield maidens are like that too.
Yeah.
A girl who's not afraid of throwing down side by side with their man. Would you say that if I'm being handed the magazine to my AR during the and she's keeping my ammo full and in my hand during the zombie apocalypse, that might be a ride or die chick right there.
Or while you're changing mags, she's sending shots down range.
Oh, I'll go even further than that. She'll do anything, right? With her man, she's only even if she's with her man. Let me read it. A girl who's not afraid of throwing down side by side with her man, even if she's the only female. Let's stop right there. What if she's not the only female? She might help me finish off the other girl, maybe. That's a real right.
Or she might recruit the other girl for you.
Oh, well, we're going to have to go there in a minute because she's the girl who rides in the passenger seat with the tea heat ready on her lap and knows all the targets. A ride or die chick, cooks for, cleans for, entertains her man by any means necessary. Star, are you that girl? I see that you'll load the mags, but what if I'm in need of unloading something particularly special? Would you assist me with that? Sometimes I have to empty all of my magazines and all of the shots need to be fired. And there's not enough targets.
Yeah, because you could end up getting prostate cancer.
Now, come on, we're trying to have fun with this language.
Here, I know.
You don't have to go that far, but okay, let's do that, man.
I'm just saying, I'm looking out for your health.
Personally,
you're older than me. You got to really unload your mags. I'm looking out for you.
Some of us shoot blanks, brother. Some of us shoot blanks at our age, all right? But guess what? We got an unlimited supply, and we got a minigun that'll pump 4,000 rounds per second. How about that? And so the ride or die chick, and here's the thing, feminists really hate ride or die chicks. They really, really do, because I think they represent something that's very primal about that woman that stands by her man no matter what. And it's like the queen, that she stands by her emperor or king.
Yeah, like we call them ride or die. They call them pick-me's.
Well, it's interesting. They do, but they're also going to go, I'm going to show you that the language is being turned on its head right now. And that ride or die is being redefined. And I'll show you where it's at. And I'm surprised you don't know, but I think you might. Okay. So where did ride or die actually come from? If you look at modern,
talk about like, Bonnie and Clyde, you could go to like Tupac.
Yes. Well, before that,
about it, all I need in my life is me and my girlfriend.
That's right.
Ride to the very end, just
that's
me
correct.
and my girlfriend. And then you got the Locks and Drag On, Eve. They made a song called Ride or Die Chick. I actually have it.
It came way before then. You look, it came through the biker culture. 1%, 1%ers. Glenn, let me see your cut. You got your name on your cut, master. You still don't have that thing glued on, do you? Master.
Remember, you said you're going to give me this like
special glue.
Yeah, the glue.
I think I can find it. Yeah.
Any Hoosers.
Yeah, no worries. Anyway, yeah, it does come from the biker, and then Wikipedia goes right through the origin on the biker culture, but it really translated into hip hop. What do you think about it? Oh, shit. But it really translated beyond that. And I noticed as I was going through, going to talk about this, we got some supporting videos that are really interesting. We'll really get into, but I go to something like the ride or die chicks, and there's these articles that are really crazy because they're kind of in that vein where they kind of roll around what a ride or die chick is, but they add this feminist twist to it, where, yeah, she can joke with her friends and she'll watch sports. But one thing I noticed, they always go around the one part of biker culture and hip hop culture where this ride or die thing is known for. You know, uh, in this case, this lady wrote on Elite Daily, she will court suitable partners for your friends in any social scene. That doesn't make any sense. That's not what this actually is all about, but this is politically correct. Look at it. It says many people say going out with your girlfriend can be quite boring. Well, not if she helps your friends get laid.
She
Do you
basically
think
is like
this
the
is
wingman for your friends.
you think this is really what they mean? Because I know
No,
about ride or
but
die
like,
culture.
no. I mean,
Yeah.
unless like your girl has single girlfriends and like she like invites her single girlfriends out, and then your friends show up too.
Yeah,
And
but
like,
regular girls do this too, not just right.
yeah, like that's what I'm saying. That's not doesn't make anything special.
So look at the bottom paragraph. It says, hey, no one bags a badder bitch than the bad bitch herself. The fact that she's willing to go through the effort of bringing her friends, potential partners will score major points in their book, and it will make going out an experience it was worth. Everyone has a better potential of getting some. It could be random girls, but if your partner knows one of her friends is coming to town, she automatically gives you your friend's first dibs. I
I
think
don't
this
think
is a euphemism because
no,
if you
like
know
it's
anything
like
about this, this is politically correct
yeah.
because it's
If anything,
generally
if
who
any,
does she actually court, Glenn?
she's actually if anything if depending on their dynamic, right, she's bringing those girls to her man.
She is. This is common with Ryder guys. Sorry, that's exactly what it is. And because she wants to please her man, and it actually, with ride or die gals, it actually strikes something about them. Females are interesting the way they get aroused, and sometimes they're very aroused by the fact that they have this very high value man that other women want to be with. And it actually strikes that jealousy bone, but that jealousy bone, for lack of better terms, it's in their neurology, is connected to the same spot that actually turns them on and gets them very, very excited for novelty. So
They'll get
that's
mad and
interesting.
excited at the same time in the
And
beginning.
they'll be very satisfied with that. And it's called compersion at that point. There's a name for it. But here's something really interesting. As you go through this, they actually hate ride or die. I mean, there's article after article about ride or die promotes unhealthy relationship. These are all written by women. Here's the one love that promotes soul.
Self-love and like
Yes.
all that stuff. You got to love yourself better.
Red flags you don't ever want to be. They're saying it's all manipulation to become ride or die. I have experience with more than one. And
Well, you know what?
actually not, but you can do
It
that.
can be. It can be if she's really not the ride or die though. Okay, so if she's
Is it
really
though?
not, no, hear this out. Like your ride or die is not going to want to manipulate you because she values you, she treasures you. She won't go. She doesn't want to get caught being a manipulative. I won't say the word, but because if she knows if she is, she will lose you. Because that level of trust that you give your ride or die, you don't give to anybody else. Like that is like so. That's
Right.
a level earned. So her losing that,
It's unfathomable.
yeah. So I don't see now if you are not the ride or die, if she's pretending to be your ride or die,
Mm-hmm.
she will manipulate you. She will manipulate you to think that she's your ride or die.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So what is the real test? Interesting. Well, we'll get to that real test in a moment. We have some videos on whether your girl's a ride or die girl. We will come from this with not only the evidence, but the experience. So look at what's going on here. Look at this. Ride or Die by Shanita Hubbard. This is brand new, and this is
It's
a feminist manifesto
Oh
for
my
the
God.
well-being of Black women. Let me just read it briefly, Glenn. I thought you might have been more in touch with this, and you probably are. Do you have a ride or die chick in your life? A ride or die chick is a Black woman who holds down her family and community. That's what it is.
They keep on redefining it. Like why?
This is what they do. They redefine words to confuse, baffle you, and dazzle you. So you don't know what the hell you're getting into. And they reverse the order in which words actually mean. That's why vulnerable nouns mean something that it never meant, ever. She's that friend or family member that you can call up in the middle of the night to bail you out of jail if ever needed. I'll tell you this, if you have a ride or die chick, yeah, she will steal the keys out of the cop's pocket that you're locked in the back, and she'll steal the car with you to get you free. That's ride or die. And she'll
Yep,
show
you
up
become
and won't
America's
ask
Most
any
Wanted with
question.
you.
She'll even help you hide the bodies, or she'll get you some bodies. She does anything for her family, friends, and significant other. Why wouldn't they just say her husband?
No, because like
Because it's politically correct. Even at the
well, no,
cost of
just
her
because
own
just
well-being.
in case she's a carpet muncher, she might not have a husband. She might have a wife.
It goes on in depth, but I found it really interesting. But this is about very much promoting the Black women, which I love them. I think they're absolutely wonderful. They're women. But this is a perversion of the language again and a misunderstanding. Just say something else, Star, you'll help me bury the bodies. How about will you help me get the bodies? That's really what I'm looking for. And you'll know what I mean in just a minute, sweetie.
I'm sure she catches your drift.
Okay, Glenn. So this ride or die chick that we're talking about, shall we go into the examples of what they are? And then I got a little story about the gal at the last. You guys want to watch that video?
I think we have to
Preface it?
preface.
Okay.
Yeah, so not all ride or die chicks are the same. Let's preface this that depending on people's, their depending on their personalized relationship with each other, that ride or die experience is going to be displayed in many different forms. Now, typically, let me say this, typically in this sphere of ride or die from biker culture, okay, ride or die are going to be very close to what we're going to show you here. But depending on your background or your worldview, ride or die is at least 2 to 3 of these principles that you're going to see. They have to have at least 2 to 3 of them in here in order to be considered a ride or die.
One of the interesting things about biker culture and then hip hop to a certain extent is ownership. And that comes a little bit from the Bible too. Responsibility.
It kind of depends. It really depends because there's some sections of like hip hop where it was very like when you got to like the gangster rap stuff.
Yeah,
that was more close in line with biker culture.
It was
very much in line with biker culture, just presented differently.
Yeah, it was presented a little bit differently, but in biker culture, they often would have cuts for the gals that said "property of."
Yeah, like just in the hip hop culture, they tattooed them on their names, on their bodies,
and that was reserved generally for the ride or die.
Yeah.
So you want to, now that you've prefaced the videos, let's take a look at what it seems to me would be ride or die gals expressing themselves. Now, let's say some of these gals are embellishing for the camera, but their principles are true. Here we go. Welcome to Ride or Die in the modern era.
His heart, not his life.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. It's very valid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make his dick hard, not his life. So he will make your pussy wet, not your eyes.
You need to bring more women for your husband. Trust me, the moment you accept this, your life's gonna change.
Hey, baby, I'm just trying to show you the blasphemy.
I actually do agree with the first woman's point. Although it's controversial, more and more women are realizing that variety is the spice of life in many relationships, although it doesn't work for all of them. However, the way this faith-based couple handled this and made a parody of it, it's not funny in any way, shape, or form. This is no display of the divine masculine or the divine feminine. In fact, it's embarrassing. This is why we have issues with women who are now running the households as men and men who turned into the feminine, who've been castrated, not to mention the issues we have with DV that are already against men that are already joked about. So I do not condone this in any way, shape, or form. In fact, if I was this man, I would be embarrassed that my wife put me on like this. I'm so curious to hear your thoughts on this, and let me know in the comments below.
Love Janelle.
My husband is my boss. My husband is number one. If my husband tells me, hey, sit down, I'll sit down. If he tells me you can't go out with your friends today, I'm not going to go out with my friends. If says, hey, go wash this dish for me, I'm gonna go wash the dish for him. I chose this man to be the king of my life, and yes, I agree with everything he says, and I do everything he says. And I did that because I chose this man. I put him in this position of my life, and this is how I honor and take care of and love the man in my life. So I tell women out there, you want a man in your life, you want to be happy, figure out what you would do when you are happy. Because I am happy. My husband does so many great things for me, and I would do that for him. I obey him, I respect him, and I let him be the man that he is. I chose a man that I wanted to follow. I chose someone to lead me, and that's why I will do anything for him.
Glenn, I just want to stop it there and comment on the fact that many women who do this and understand this, they actually really engrave themselves right down to the neurons in their man's mind. They really do. And they don't realize that they get that deep in there. Guys love idealistically. And when something like that is done, that level of, that level of possession and obsession increases in the man. And I've seen many, many women from different cultures that do this, very, very happy to do this because the results they get from their man is inspiration. You want to inspire a man? Do this. Because
well, it's it's the amount of imprint that man has put on her too. That really determines a lot, right? Like the level of imprint that he put on her, and there's a lot of aftercare through the process. And I'm not just talking about the sexual aspect of it, but just like the overall nurturing of that. Like there's a lot of facilitating and security that's provided, because women just don't naturally go there.
What do you mean?
The guy has to be that guy to get that from her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
So like this is not just like
that's not a default position.
No,
However,
it's not like he just shows up.
I will say this. I've done enough of the consults and things of that nature to find out that women don't offer enough of a view of that as a potential long-term relationship.
Not anymore. They don't. No,
they don't offer it in any way, shape, or form quick enough to keep a man's interest.
No,
it has to go along with all of it. It really does. We can get into that later about
and it's like it's interesting because
three date rule and all that stupidness.
Because I want to make guys know that, like, just because if you run into a girl and she doesn't like immediately behave this way or show you the ride or die signs, it's because you have not yet earned it. You have not proven yourself worthy yet. You're not there yet.
Well, that's a good point, because that actually is a great screening example that you brought up, Glenn, because look, GL, if the girl is love bombing you with this stuff right up front, she's likely one of those borderline. And she's
she's BPD. If she's giving it to you without you earning it, that bitch is crazy.
That's right. Because this is actually, when you saw that girl, she was happy. This was an exchange that fulfilled her deeply. And it didn't happen immediately. And that's the part about they're building a house essentially from the foundation up. And that's not something you do right away,
because that level of submission and deference, right?
Yeah.
That takes a lot of trust. That's built on a very strong foundation of trust. And that doesn't just come easy.
No, it's an incredible team building thing too.
It is. They both nurtured that there. They both brought that to life with his leadership and him consistently and regularly being that guy and not falling short. That allows her to be that ride or die.
Yeah, and modern gynocentrism really hates that, because what it does is it really usurps the value that they try to offer women with their careers and you can have it all mentality, which is not true. This is something that takes a long time to build, and this can happen. This is more likely to happen than being able to establish that career and then get your children and do everything you want. As far as probability is concerned, we we got half the population thinking they can make it into their 40s and then have children and end up that fulfilled. And that is incorrect. This basically supplants that. And it really upsets the apple cart, because it's really a way in which a woman can find fulfillment
without having to do all the BS
correct.
that the feminists are telling them. Like, a woman could be a ride or die and experience a better life overall joyfully than having to chase a career, you know, and compete in the world of men, you know, and not be fulfilled. You know, that's why the feminists hate it so much, because it's the it's the better choice for them.
Yeah, and I'll get into this in the end, because I have kind of a prediction that's going to span a couple of decades or a couple of generations, because I'll come back to that. Let's finish what we got here. This is Nikki Glazer. She's a comedian. I'm a fan of comedy, and way before COVID ever went, I've seen this gal at least 3 times. And I can tell you what she has here is genuine, but she's kind of turned it into making herself popular too. So, but you know, I can't blame her, because you could see it is genuine. But here's the point. It doesn't matter whether she used it for her career or whether she is genuine about it, because the outcome is the same. And Glenn and I will discuss it. And I have another video of her where she really goes at commercializing this. But we'll talk about why it doesn't matter, because you could see through it. So here we go. Nikki Glazer. And this is kind of, she expresses exactly what I'm very familiar with several ladies. Very. And it's a beautiful thing, you know, although she has no discretion as far as, she doesn't have a filter. So here we go.
Still a proponent of non-monogamy?
Yeah, not for myself. I think it's
But it was something for yourself, or for the person you were dating.
I'm a weirdo,
right?
and I like my boyfriend to at least entertain the idea of being with other women or be with them. I think it's about like, I want to be on HBO Max because people watch HBO Max. It's a cool network. I want my show on a place that is a cool, shiny, like I want things that other people want.
Would you be cool with him sleeping with somebody else right now?
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to be with her, no. Then go be with her. Like, don't be with me. It'd be like if I was like cooked him a meal every night and someone else made him a meal. I wouldn't be like, another person cooked you. Like, that's how I look at sex. Whereas like, he likes my cooking the best, and part of my cooking is dependent on him trying other things so that I can try them for him.
You don't think it would hurt you?
No, I know it wouldn't, if you want to be honest. In the past, we've experimented with this because I had these feelings of like, I wouldn't mind if you like had a little fling with someone else, not like emotional. That seems like.
Well, you found it like attractive, right?
Yeah,
or, like,
I want things
on.
that, yeah, like even if she's hotter than me or like looks different than me, like I don't really care what she looks like. I like it. He's a hot guy. I'm like, yeah, check this out. Like, it's like lending your friend your sweater or something. I'm not doing this with my friends, but it's like, have fun in it for the night, but give it back to me. Don't stretch it out or whatever. Like, everyone has their own kinky thing. My thing is, I don't mind that. And does he go through with it? No, but like, could he? Yes.
Lie.
Is it a two-way street of like, I can do anything? No, because I don't really want to. That's not my thing. And who knows? It might be my thing someday. I'm a very like open person to anything that might come about. But yeah, that's my kind of take on non-monogamy, I guess.
So Glenn, she immediately, definitely, you know, she brings out an interesting point that of course she wants to embellish this for her HBO show.
Oh yeah, it's.
But I will tell you this: years before,
I think it maybe like personally, I think she probably had the fantasy of it.
No, it went beyond that. We've seen her live, and she advocated that. She said it turned her on immensely. I have a video somewhere. I'll have to dig it up. But she had talked about, you know, the thrill that she had felt knowing that her man could score and actually have sex. And here's the thing. She even admitted to being intimately involved and observing all this, and it turned her on to an intense degree. First of all, it was just the thought. And then she actually, when she said she experimented with it, she's trying to back up because the video's out there where she talked about this and the experiences. And
didn't she like interview the girls?
Well, that comes to the show. But here's what I think she did. She was very honest with this, and she's kind of a ride or die chick. And she's been really open about her sexuality as a comedian, which is great. She made a good living at it. But she brought this out that she really liked her high value man to have more than one woman, or at least have the availability of other women. This is spinning plates, essentially. But this is more than spinning plates in the fact that these other women were on par as sexual partners with her, but they didn't have all the conveniences or his loyalty. And
You know
so
what's kind of interesting though? Like,
she really got turned on by. She talked about this on, I think, My Mama's House, the podcast.
yeah, but here's something interesting that she said. This is not about him.
No.
This is about her satisfaction.
Yes.
So I actually pause for the ride or die theory here. If it was for his enjoyment, if it was his desire, right? Then that would be ride or die.
Right.
But the fact that it is her desire, that doesn't make it ride or die.
No.
Because he doesn't follow through with it. She even says, like, he doesn't always, act on it or follow through with it or actually pull the trigger. But
Not the cap.
That's what I say to her.
I mean, yeah. I'm just basing it off of what she says.
Right.
But based off what she says, if he's not the one really following through with it or the one that's desiring it, and this is her desire, it's her kink, then he's the ride or die.
Well, I don't think so. And I don't think so because
I'm kidding, but I'm just saying, like,
she hear what she says about getting turned on by him, the thought of him basically throwing game down. I've seen this in real life, throwing game down and being able to consummate that is such an amazing erotic turn on to some women. And the proof is actually was written about by Nancy Friday in a book that's very old called My Secret Garden, which I recommend our viewers read because it's really revealing about women and their fantasies and how actually sexual flexibly they are. And that most of them actually do involve either being taken in some way that's slightly out of the ordinary or slightly out of their control. And in the fact that there may be others involved in it from a powerful man that she's very, very attracted to, yet she maintains some sort of control emotionally with him, as if he is her beast and she unleashes him at her will. And it's super arousing to women. And I have found this to be actually true.
I have some friends that are, they live an alternative lifestyle, right?
Right. Same.
And his wife sources the girls, right? And I could see her as the ride or die because this was something that he brought her into.
Yep.
Right. And she chose to live in that frame.
I agree.
And that makes her the ride or die because it wasn't her this wasn't her thing first.
Okay.
But she adopted it because his imprint onto her, and she wants to stay with him and she loves him and she's dedicated to him. So to her, it's like whatever. It's almost like the girl in the beginning of the video, the one with the head scarf, right? Where she's like, I do whatever makes him happy, that's kind of how my friend's wife is when it comes to it.
Yeah, but willingly.
But her, she's happy, and it wasn't initiated from him. That's where I'm kind of like, she is ride or die. You could say that, but the epicenter of it, if it was his initiation or his desire, that would make it ride or die.
Yeah, but
wouldn't it?
I don't think so. I think that they do anything. Well, looking at the Urban Dictionary, she'll do anything to make him happy. Here's the thing, though. You got a good point, but if making her happy is making him happy, now we have an endless circle.
Okay, yeah, then okay, I can see that.
To see it, and here's the thing: some women don't even understand what actually turns them on or is excited, and they get frustrated with men, or they have difficulty even reaching orgasm for many years in their life. And so they don't even really know. And That's very unfortunate because us men, even men in the red pill space like us, really, we still follow that. Hey, it's me or nothing. I'm alpha. I'm not beta. And, I don't really prescribe to that. I prescribe more to a dominant masculine presence. And if you're going to engage in those things,
I prescribe to, like, don't even, if they don't want to live in your frame, let them go.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I want to comment to Star here. Remember, Star, I said in the beginning that what you're about to see here, it doesn't classify all ride or die. Okay, that depending on the couple's relationship makeup, it's going to determine. That's why I said they have to have at least one of these things or two of these things. All right, the first two gals that were in the beginning, they weren't talking about sharing their man. They were talking about being loyal, being submissive, being doting, tending to him.
This will lead into our next video.
So it doesn't always have to involve the swinging. Okay,
And
that's what I want to
make. Many times it doesn't.
Most of the time it does. It's for a very selected group of guys. It does. And that's like probably less than 5% of the world's population of men.
Yep, that's what we're calling high value now. They have those options.
We can't. I don't know what we're calling it these days.
Yeah, but they're the top. They're the top GLs. Top GL. But yeah. So it doesn't have to go that way, but it's definitely something like I was talking about. You were talking about, well, if she didn't want to do it and he wanted her to do it, but she was ride or die and she did it. Here's the thing with ride or die gals. They do what he wants, but they want to do it.
Well, yeah,
it satisfies their need as well.
Well, I would call that full submission.
It is.
It's full submissiveness.
Definitely deference, and it's the ability to
further than that. It's further than that because there's obedience and there's submission, right? Obedience is doing something.
Yeah.
But submission is the desire to do it.
Yeah, but it's not against her will in any way. So deferring to that, it's really teamwork. I mean, this is going all the way. It's like it's just you and me, babe. And if we're bringing concubines into it, I'm in control of it, and that's the girl, and that's what we're talking about. That's pretty crazy. And so I want to address Star in that. Yeah, there's ride or die chicks that don't do that because it's not a part of them. But this is a big part of explaining that psychology and also that behavior. And I want to look back to Nikki because she's made a living doing this, and she has. I'm telling you, she's made this she's kind of backed off like, oh, I'm just doing it for my show. I'm here in California. I get it. I'm a fan. I've been out there. I've watched her shows.
I'm getting a lot of flack from the feminists.
That's what's happening. However, she's pretty damn open. I've seen her around, and without going too far, let's just take a look at some of her. Hopefully we won't get sidetracked from this, but these are some clips from Comedy Central through HBO. Is it Hollywood? No, it is Hollywood, but no, this exists. She's Hollywood. Yeah, she's doing Hollywood with it, but no, it is not. And this is the ride or die mentality. Here we go. She's gripped into a reality that exists with these ride or die folks. And especially with the gals. Now, what she's portraying is that she's doing all the screening for her man. And Glenn and I will probably agree on this. That to me and Glenn, that's very masculine behavior. Oh, I lost Glenn. So I'll just keep going. Yeah, sometimes we lose Glenn for some reason. He's a little heavy-handed on the buttons, but we'll get him back. Don't you worry. My GL will be right there. There he is. So Glenn, what I was telling the folks was that, she touched on the truth, but for us, her going out there and finding gals for her man. And I've heard red pill guys do this. And hey, if it works for you, that's great. I find this very uncommon, and it's actually masculine behavior, in my opinion.
I mean, I can see why it's masculine behavior.
You want her gaming the gals because that's what was happening in that video. I know it was a setup.
Here's the thing. here's the thing why I can understand this stance here, because it minimizes the threat for her. She's processing out the threat, you know, beforehand. So one, it doesn't. This is why I say she's not a ride or die. Okay, because if a ride or die would trust him without anything,
Exactly.
so she's really not a ride or die. This is
I
for
agree.
her desire. This is her thing. You know, a real ride or die would not have a problem with the guy, you know, doing this. Okay. Now, Star, I'm gonna throw something out for you for this, and I want you to look at it in this sense because you could understand this. Now, in the Bible, men were having multiple wives. Okay, so I would like you to, just for this, the tenet of this is that what she's doing basically is interviewing a potential wife that he's going to be bringing in. Just think about it from that premise, because that's the closest thing to what they are displaying here that I could actually frame up, because that's kind of like what would be equivalent to it, but they're doing it for casual infidelity, sexual immorality, sex, whatever you want to call it. But it's the same premise of it. Like, she's vetting the girls that are going to be coming into their home. It's almost equate to like the wife is vetting the other potential wives that her husband is going to have.
Okay, I suppose. And just for sake of argument, you mute yourself, Glenn.
I mean, I'm doing it for, because when you look at it, when somebody that doesn't come from the worldview, when they see that, it just shuts them down, and
Sure.
they won't be able to comprehend what was the story that you're trying to tell them that's going on, right? Because all they just see is what they have to reject. But if you take it from something that they understand, like the Old Testament, how men had multiple wives, it's kind of the same process. If you looked at it this way, just the wife is picking the wives instead of Abraham going out and getting new wives.
Yeah, I would predict that Abraham threw down the game and not the wives.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is because, and here's my real world examples from the men I know. And
okay, yeah, like the Mormons.
Is that the men that I know that are successful today in a similar circumstance, that live a similar life, and their actual ladies are very much like Nikki and very turned on. One of the biggest parts for them is the fact that their man is so capable that he can throw down. And you notice she even said a little bit of a truth. Even if she was prettier than her, she wanted to know that he could score that woman and even go that far. And it turned her on immensely because she had more of an emotional bond with him.
Well, it's also
also
secures that social proof.
And it also secures extra resources for her at a fundamental level, because here's this other woman that could potentially help her with children, other such things. This comes from a very, very primal level. And a lot of folks will say, no, my moralities get in the way. Well, as a non-Christian, it's easy for me to just push them aside and look at the facts and look at evolutionary psychology and see that there was some advantage to this, as expressed by the ability of women to pass their DNA along and have had children 98% of the time. And I was incorrect the other day when I said it was 67% of men pass their DNA along. Oh no, I have to back it out. It's 47%. What do you think, Glenn? So if that's the case,
that's a low number.
Then you have to understand that what Nikki is broadcasting here is not talked about, but it is acted upon, whether in the open or not. And there's something there that triggers that. And that's what we're talking about today, because we can see it more openly with ride or die women. They'll do anything for their man. So we kind of get that expression and get to see it that way. And of course, we're having some fun with it. We're always a bit tongue in cheek here, literally. Maybe it's tongue in multiple cheeks. I don't know there, Glenn. SpongeBob SquarePants, you know.
Butt cheeks or cheek cheeks?
Oh, Glenn, you know. Yeah, I was yes, Star. I was shocked. I thought it was 67. I had read several articles and I was corrected. And I looked at another source. But it's not that important for relevance. Even at the 67%, it expresses exactly the same thing that I just expressed. Are you prepared to take in empirical reality or objective reality in that women are very sexually flexible and that for the majority of our existence, most men had several mates? Now, I will tell you this: serial monogamy is extremely successful and serves women's interests. It will be fought for forever because, as it's lined out today, serial monogamy is the best possible outcome for women. It produces the most offspring for them. It gives them the most control over the birth right now than any other method. Serial monogamy. We do not have lifelong monogamy, my friend.
Well,
You fool yourself.
I have a great passage to like correlate this to.
Oh
So,
man, you're gonna make me dig out my Odin's Bible.
No, check this out. So this is in like Genesis 30, verse 4. All right. And this is when like Rachel, who was married to, I think it was Jacob, right?
Rachel married Ross.
No. We're not talking about friends. And so Jacob had like multiple wives, right? I think he married the two sisters. He married two sisters. One was the ugly one and one was the pretty one.
You know, Wraith married two sisters.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Our Wraith?
Yes.
He would.
Stud.
Anyway, so what's going on here is like, so one of their wives, they couldn't give birth. So the wife gave her husband her servant, and God blessed her. It says God blessed her for her giving the servant to her husband for him to have children.
Bless her with there, Glenn.
She ended up having her own children. They actually ended up having two. Both of his wives.
She got satisfaction and fulfillment for doing it.
Yep.
Brother, that's ride or die right there. The fulfillment for ride or die gals. And
this dude had two ride or dies because both wives did it. And the dude had tons of kids. But it started from the fact that these two women, like, they were struggling with getting pregnant, and so they gave their husband a servant wife to pass on his legacy, and out of their obedience they got blessed. Like, out of their desire to carry on his name, they were blessed. So it's in the Bible. So you can see that this is ride or die is a thing. It's a biblical thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that. Interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of guys would like to try this, but you got to be really special to hold it together. If you got a ride or die chick, it definitely helps because you have some room for wiggle. If you're going to try that multiple gal thing, I think that for nearly all men today, that serial monogamy is what they actually got. You know, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, like I said, serial monogamy really serves women. They end up with more sexual partners, more sexual opportunities because they basically have unlimited options. It's that old axiom that the PUAs used to say to try to explain to men how women are so different. You take a man and you walk him in to a bar loaded, a club right there. You know, he's dressed to the nines. He looks like a stud. Have him stop and shout at the top of his lungs, I am ready to get fucked. Who's going to fuck? Who am I going to fuck tonight? Right?
I did that once and the whole bar left with me. So,
well, most of the time you're going to get crickets, except maybe for the gay dudes, right?
That's what I said. I didn't say what kind of bar it was. I didn't say what kind of bar it was.
Now, you get your average or even a woman who has a couple nice clothes, slightly dim, and she goes in there and rides out the bar and says, I am ready to get fucked. Who's going to start?
The whole bar is empty. They're closing that place down for a video.
Men don't have the same level of sexual control. It's way too they have to capitalize the
They
opportunity.
have no threshold.
Well, the
There's no
thirst
floor.
is far different because we're expendable. We don't carry the burden of potential death with a pregnancy. Not that that's always the case, but it is much more difficult. That's why it takes a guy who can offer security and provisions, and that is not as common with men. Therefore, the women line up to get the security and the provision from that guy that does that and can also turn them on sexually. They're happy to share that guy. What is it always said? Who was it? Was it Rossi or was it Roosh that said, I can't remember. 5 minutes of alphas or 5 years of beta?
Oh yeah. No, I'll push back on that though. I don't think that they're happy to share that guy. I think that they're willing to. And then they might find happiness
when they become happy. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I
don't
think
think
that's probably
I
more
don't
true
think,
than not.
I would say most women are not excited and thrilled about it at first.
I agree.
But they'll grow on them.
Not only does it grow on them, I think that it intrinsically there is a path that's been set aside by evolution for that to happen. Therefore, when it's done for a bit of time, it fits much more into their long-term satisfaction and fulfillment. I think you're dead right, Glenn.
Yeah, and I think, again, guys, you need to realize that not many guys do this or get this, and this is not common.
No, okay? It's not common.
The individual that this happens to is so rare. Okay,
even in the countries where this is the norm.
Exactly, and this is not an everyday occurrence. So don't think that you could go in there and try to test to see if your ride or die is really your ride or die to that level. And there she is. There's my girl. She finally late. My ride or die finally shows up. Late as hell.
Oh well.
Stop the cap.
Late as hell.
Yeah. So who does the recruiting, Coco?
You didn't catch any of this.
We'll save that for another time.
But I think that when you're scaling it, when you're looking at it, what we were showing,
yeah,
to most men that's unrealistic. That's unrealistic. That's something that they're trying to just get a girl that actually
you mean in practicality.
In practicality, I think most men are just trying to get to a point where they can just get a girl that treats them with respect.
But 100% want it.
Yeah. Oh, they totally would want it, but they're just happy if a woman treats them with respect at this point.
They don't know how to actualize that. They're happy if a woman would even come close to even moving the air around their pee-pee.
Yeah. Did I tell you that sexless marriage is actually a form of sexual immorality?
Sexual immorality?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a Christian, so please educate me, Pastor GL.
Man, so I was like doing some research and I was like, getting into it, and I was like, sexual immorality. They define sexual immorality inside the marriage and outside the marriage. Outside the marriage is having sex when you're not married. That's fornication, right? So inside the marriage is having an affair, so sleeping with somebody that's other than your spouse, right? In the context, because remember in the Bible times you could actually have multiple wives. So so if as long as they were your wife, one of them.
So if I'm biblical, I'm legal?
No, you're still sinning according to the Bible. I'm sorry, but
no,
I want to take it up with Odin. I don't know. Talk to Odin about it. I don't know what you guys got going on over there, but but also, so adultery is a sexual immorality within the marriage, but holding sex from your spouse is actually a form of sexual immorality, because you are not allowed. It says that your body is not yours; it's theirs. So you can't withhold it from them.
I did know that, yeah.
And then if you withhold it from them, that causes temptation, and therefore you have caused sexual immorality. And Jesus says in Matthew, I forgot what it was, Matthew, I want to say 19, he says men could only divorce their wives due to sexual immorality.
So let me ask you about this though.
So therefore, if your wife's not putting out
for men though, right?
Divorce.
No, it's only for men.
No, it says he can't deny his dick either.
Whoa! Hold the horses here. What if he can't get it up? She's allowed a divorce?
No.
Oh, wait.
That's
Sex doesn't happen without the dude.
Yes, but so it's the willingness. It's the willingness, right? So if he can't get it up, and he's still offering it to her, he's doing what he can to fulfill.
So it's her problem if it's just a little earthworm.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not, doing it the deed.
And again, in the biblical times, it never says a wife could divorce her husband.
That's what I meant. So if he doesn't perform,
it's only a husband could divorce the wife.
So if he doesn't perform at all with her, she can't. That doesn't apply to her. Interesting. So I guess there was
the way that they worded it, though.
There probably was no oral sex back then either, right?
I don't know. I wasn't there. But you know what? The way that they worded it is that you can't withhold her conjugal rights. So like you couldn't just marry her and then never, have sex with her. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, because it is a primary need, and they did recognize that there's human needs, and they wanted that you had to met within the confines, right?
Yeah, you had to fulfill those. So basically, what it's stating is that because the egalitarian modern day woo-woo spiritual stuff, from the church puts all the power and the authority on the woman. So if you're not a good servant leader, she don't got to open her legs for you.
So let me ask you, let's have some fun. Does a servant leader eat the box?
Oh yeah, he's definitely eating box.
What about the
he's in the grocery too. He's in the back door too.
Does the red pill eater eat box? I mean, the red pill leader eat box?
Of course.
There's a lot of guys in space that say it is submissive and inappropriate to eat the box. I say that you are not a true high value alpha DMP super red pill in control of full submission unless you're a master boxer.
You know what? Here's the thing. And guys that say like you don't care about her, like you're an idiot.
You're a complete idiot.
See how long that lasts. Okay. See how long you keep them around.
And you know this. And I am a trained hypnotist in this. You realize that at that point right before the O, there is a flow state. And that flow state, if you're into conditioning a gal, possibly to become ride or die, that is actually an avenue that would have nearly no firewall whatsoever. There's a point of no return in which she enters flow state and everything is on the table, pretty much. Any woman that's had anything that gets like that and gets that flow state even close as that ramp goes up knows when they get to that point. And I could tell you exactly what it is. It is that point in which, yes, Coco, you'll know this very well. It's that point where you or the woman can no longer form coherent sentences. And you speak into her left ear, and the conditioning, of course, compassionate compliance conditioning is what you would do. And you could essentially condition ride or die that way.
I had to tell Coco to stop being a heathen and stop calling me God all the time and Jesus, because I don't want a lightning bolt or get struck, down, because every time it's like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm not your God, but I'll take it.
I hear that all the time because I am a God amongst men, though.
Oh, yeah, you're Thor, so I'm just.
It's hard to live up, but it's kind of hard because when I got to give myself my own, they ask everybody on all these panel shows, Glenn, what is your SMV? 1 to 10, girl. What is your sexual market value? Are you a 1 or are you a 10? They all answer 10. None of the girls are ever honest,
Actually, you know what? Did you watch last night's Access Vegas?
Yeah, I did. But I'll comment.
How many of them said 7s? How many said 6 or 7?
Well, the cat's out of the bag. But for me, when they ask me, I got to answer. I'm a 4.5. I'm old and I'm a god amongst men, so I can only compare myself against other gods. So what are you going to do?
Where's the half god?
It's not even fair to compare against humans. So. Star's a 1 just to be disagreeable. Well, that's all right, Star.
Well, you just want to go against the pack.
She wants the sympathy. Star needs a little sympathy. We'll give you a little sympathy, beautiful.
She just wants to go. She just wants to be different. She wants to stand out. She wants to be the red umbrella in the
I
sea
know
of
it.
the black ones.
The purple cow. Right? Well, at least you didn't say you were a unicorn, because we know here on the Trident that all unicorns are actually rhinos, because unicorns don't exist.
Nobody wants a rhino.
Yeah, and we got a plethora of dumpster.
Are we going to be doing the dumpster rhino thing? Because I'm dreading that one.
We don't have to.
I really don't think. I just just the thought of
just
it.
Because you don't, just because you saw the pictures of Lizzo.
Yeah, like I can't stomach that. I just can't. Like I'm not. Well, you know the guy that goes into the bar. They said like that can't like that actually can hold himself from thirst. That's me, because I am so petty. Like I'm shallow Hal times 10. Like no, you can ask Coco.
Look at Star. She knows dumpster rhinos. You ever go to Walmart? Lizzo's big and beautiful.
No, they said beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
I think it's skinny and sumptuous.
Do you know they said beauty is the eye of the beholder?
Yeah,
Whoever said that didn't have to hold her.
Fucking deep.
They said beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but whoever said that didn't have to hold her.
Ah, there you go, Glenn. Yep. Yeah, no doubt about it. We'll have to, just for you, Glenn. We'll get some really nice photos of Tess Holiday and Lizzo. Lizzo did the naked thing. They always get naked.
Yeah, that's what they do. If they want attention, they get naked. They want to protest, they get naked. They want to start a war, they get naked. You know.
But you know what? But it's our fault. We're so damn thirsty. I mean, could you not look at a naked woman? I can't. I have to. I have no choice. The switch gets flipped.
I mean, like
you can't either. You can't either.
Yeah, you have to look. But
that's why when you looked at Lizzo, you got sick.
It's like, oh God, what was that?
But you had to look, didn't you?
I just like noticed. I just like, oh my, like I didn't go searching for it. I didn't search for it. I heard about it, and then somebody sent it. Somebody sent it to me. Like, can you? Oh, my buddy James sent it to me. He's like, can you believe this? And I opened. I'm like, oh man, why?
Oh, Coco, when you were 25, you were certainly at least a 9.
That girl's still a 10.
Yeah, Glenn knows what's up. Well, yeah, because, I would never deem a woman a 10 unless I was sleeping with her, because you got to know that last little bit.
That's right.
Oh, we're having way too much fun.
It's the curiosity. No, it's not the curiosity. It's just the fact that, like,
we're men. We're men.
Our Nate, we see skin. We're gonna look somewhere.
Star, men are so. Women will never understand. You won't. You'll never understand. You won't have the level of hormones in your body at the right combination that would work. Men, I will describe it in the most ugly terms possible. The majority of men they'll basically eat the peanuts out of your poo to look to see where that poo came from for a woman. Why do you think there's OnlyFans? Glenn, it looks like you might have sniffed a little of that, a little too much.
No, that's just too much. But it's true, though. It's true.
It is true.
It's true.
It's true. Men will just. And you know what? I have to say, Glenn, I don't like it. I wish we weren't, because we'd probably have a better. We'd probably have a better shot at relationships. No,
I think when you actually have a DMP.
Yeah.
Okay. I think when you have a DMP, you actually have that under control. I think you do. I think you could actually. I think you could have the willful power to not act on it if you choose to. But I think most men don't want to choose to.
When you have enough options, that becomes more. Man, a guy that's in the desert that has no water.
See, that's different. That's different. But like, you see what I'm saying? Like, but the average guy in a normal scenario, if a guy with a DMP like is around beautiful women. Okay, look at Mark Sartain and Rollo. They're in the room every night or every two other Thursday with tons of attractive women in there, and they're not like panting like dogs,
Yeah.
They have it's just they have it under control. They have there's no need to.
Coco, I'm sure he would pick the raisins out of it to see where it came from you, girl. I know he'd do it.
I know where it came from. I stuffed it in there.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. I'll answer a star in a minute, but I love Coco, but I'm going to call you guys out. Glenn, where is it here? Did she take it out? Oh no. Here we go. Where's Coco's comment? Coco. I just saw the comment. Coco, seriously? I'm going to let Glenn tell you.
You know what? She's not wrong. She's actually not wrong about this.
Why?
Because when I met her, she was actually too damn skinny. and so there was times like in her younger pictures, she was really, really skinny. That it was almost like for 50 cents a day you could feed a child just like this, and just having some like Sarah McLachlan song in the background. Heart of an Angel.
No.
Yeah.
No, 23 is the hottest. You can't compete with it. Now, we have to discount, technology that might be in place that can increase hotness over time. But just you against yourself, no makeup, nothing, middle 20s, girl, that's where men in general have their strongest drive. They really do. I won't say that women can't get hotter by learning how to make their appearance and their energy better, but just based on appearance alone, I would have to tip the scale.
So you're basing it on an all natural, no augmentation,
kind of evolutionary psychology type thing. Yeah.
You're basing it on no like maturity, no fillers, no nothing, just all pure natural, all natural.
Yes, because even us guys, like for me,
I can understand from that premise.
I can be huge and big and look much better as I got older than I did when my early 20s. But for me, being more mature and older is for a woman much more appealing than when I was in my 20s. But for a man, a woman all natural, no anything, even her energy is just attractive at that fertility range for sure. However, I will put the caveat out there for her that, you can learn to do a lot with your sexual energy that does make you hotter, and it's not from experience, but it is from the fact that you're cognizant of your femininity, more so as you get older, because guess what? It's aging out of the market. Therefore, you're more aware of it and you use it to your advantage as much as you possibly can.
You know what? Here's the thing though. Like and I'm not sure if this is the real thing or not, but I've seen women in their 30s that are outshining girls in their 20s. And
that's because all the fatness there, Glenn.
Well, it's not just the fatness, it's also the attitude and the agreeability.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, personality wise and the conditioning.
Personality wise, I see the girls on like the whatever podcast, and I'm like, absolutely not. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but if you didn't have to talk to them, you didn't know their personality.
No, I'm just listening to them. I'm just like, absolutely not. Just like the way they look, no. But then, you see like the girls that were on like, Mike Sartain and Thor or in the Rollo show. These girls are all over 30 for the most part, or they're in their late 20s, 29 and stuff. And they look better than the girls that they were there. Now, although those are models and stuff like that, it's still a little, I don't know.
Coco, it doesn't matter what age you are. You would be a standout beauty in my book. I promise.
She's already a standout beauty in my book, still to this day. That's why she has my name tattooed on her ass.
Glenn, you want to answer this one?
I already did.
This one I've been working on for a very long time.
That's why she said. That's what she said. Oh, thank you.
Okay, good.
Because I already addressed it. It said dominant masculine presence.
And you know what's funny, Glenn? When you describe what a dominant masculine presence is to a woman that's open and understand it's not domineering, but it's a presence that's felt, they understand it because they use language all the time, emotional language that puts it back out, which is he's vibing, he's taking up the room. There's a vibe. I notice it. Oh, I can feel it.
Or it's like it's that they end up understanding it's that need for them. Like they
very comforting
consume them
in a
like
lot of
a
ways,
drug.
too.
It's like a drug.
And it's comforting too. A lot
Yeah.
of people, a lot of men cannot pick that up right away. That is something that has to be developed.
And you know
Whereas
what?
there are certain
Here's-
natural attributes to our physique that work well with
Men notice it too, though, but we
They
don't.
do.
Most guys don't understand what it is. Most guys don't catch it. I've noticed, like you could be in a heated debate or a heated argument with somebody, right? And the guy is almost acting as emotional as the girl in the argument.
Yeah.
And if you go in there poised and you just set it straight,
Yeah.
without, he is still wilding out, but she notices it and she steps back.
Yeah.
Like I've witnessed that on debates where I'm debating somebody and they just the girl will step back out of submissiveness, but she was like, oh, somebody's here that actually is authority. It's interesting.
Yeah. Man, we beat up the ride or die women today. We had a lot of fun with it, a lot of tongue in cheek, made some fun, good jokes. I hope we got some grains of truth out there because there is a real component to what we spoke about today that's worth understanding, because if you can get that level of satisfaction and commitment from a person, particularly a woman, and you're a guy out there, it's very enjoyable. Not the ones that have the borderline personality disorder, but ones that are really into that and want to be your woman. So much so they want to take your name on, and they're happy to express the fact essentially that they're your woman, which is a form of ownership. Really, I'm proud that he is my man. We even use language that expresses ownership today, yet we frown upon it publicly and that's not what it means. But it really does mean that level of commitment is so great that you're taking on his name and his legacy, and you're a part of that essential, machine moving forward. His DNA coupled with yours. That's a pretty hefty thing to take on. And it, much like Glenn said in the Bible, women are rewarded for it, are blessed, right? Blessed, is that how you said it? I think they're blessed in all cultures when they take it on like that. There's something built into them that satisfies them with that family that they can achieve from that. And with that, what do we got? We'll just do our last ones. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get us. Oh, you got something you wanted to put up? Glenn, what are we doing? Can't hear anything. Glenn, everything's muted. Did you want to do something? I didn't see the private chat.
Oh no, I didn't send it in the private chat. I was gonna just play the Ride or Die song, the Ride or Die chick song.
No, you get us demonetized. We are standing monetized. Let's don't do that.
Thank God it didn't even play. I forgot you're monetized.
Let's write us out with tomorrow, because tomorrow's show is going to be great. What do you say? You want to go out with a promo for tomorrow?
There we go. There's your promo for tomorrow.
You want to go out with our promo of emotional availability tomorrow and feel good words for girls?
Yeah.
We'll write out on that.
You want me to throw up the one with Rolo too, or just one for tomorrow's show?
Do you have a promo for Rolos?
Yeah.
Why don't you add it up into the video clip?
Cool.
And then we'll roll with both.
What is the following week is? I'm waiting to see what the following week is.
Following week what?
What we're doing.
Well, I know you want to do one in a couple of weeks, right? You're going to host?
Yeah. Yep.
We got quite a few options in the can, We can talk about it and see what we want to do on the panel show. Who's going to be there?
I think we should do. Well, you know what?
Are you loaded? Did you get it loaded?
It's loading up right now. The following week, I'm gonna bring up Iron Disciples if they're available.
That's the show I want you to host
Yeah.
it. I want you to get the topic, and I'll put together a thumb, and we'll do it.
Oh, and I met a guy, a black guy that's read, you know, in RP space,
Mm-hmm.
new to RP space, or and he's not new. He's been there for a while. He actually has more. He's like almost like 6,000 followers. Met him. He's trying to find a community. So I told him to come check out the show tomorrow. Tune into the show.
Nice.
And I was gonna have you after the stream, while we're still in the backstage, pull him up. So because he wanted to chat with you about joining becomedurable.com. So
the dragons. Yeah.
Yep. And you know, I was gonna have him use my code, but he wanted to
have him use your code. First. Dude, we need to start putting your code out there.
Yeah, so
all the guys.
He wanted to talk with you first, though. So I wanted, like, yeah, I could facilitate that. Like, Thor shouldn't have a problem with that. Good guy. Talked to him recently. He reached out to me, so pretty solid guy. But let's go ahead and play tomorrow's clip first, and then by that time,
you'll have the other clip ready.
Yep.
All right. I'm just gonna go ahead and sign off myself, and we'll take you and me out, and we'll start playing the clip. How about that? Until next Trident, come and join us on the Dragon Ship tomorrow. Let's go.
Next on the Dragon Ship, we're going to be talking about emotional availability. What the fuck is that?
We are no longer dating emotionally unavailable men.
An emotionally unavailable man.
Emotionally unavailable that you can take to become more emotionally available in your relationships.
What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about the emotionally unavailable woman.
Now, wait a minute. Now, that is worth watching. Make sure you tune into this Saturday so you can learn what this whole emotional unavailability nonsense is. Before your girl gets you watching some dude with a man bun and some tight jeans tell you how to be more emotionally available. Yo, it's your boy Glenn Lawrence. So recently, I got a comment on one of my videos. And the comment was on a video that I did with Mike from Iron Disciples. And they said that Christianity can't be true if the red pill is true. The both are too contradictory. You know, and there's a lot of people that in this space that think that if you're a Christian, you can't be red pilled, or if you're red pilled, you can't call yourself a Christian. Well, you know what? I decided I'm going to reach out to Rollo Tomasi and the Iron Disciples to see if they wanted to collaborate with me on this very topic. And they both agreed. So in the next video, you're going to catch me, Rollo, and the Iron Disciples breaking down this very topic. We're going to show you guys how both Christianity and red pill praxeology can coexist.
She's not a Christian!
How you can have a biblical worldview, but also a red pill lens.
Care of them. Red pill, a lot of the right problems, wrong conclusions, wrong solutions, void of the gospel.
I know, it sounds crazy. Ruslan, Hafiz, take some notes. I'm sure you guys are going to have a few rebuttals, but don't worry, we'll be ready for you. So stay tuned. It's going to be an epic video you're not going to want to miss.
Dear Mr. Chris.